President Biden yesterday with a warning to unvaccinated Americans. Winter is coming and it's going to be bad.
For unvaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families, and the hospitals they'll soon overwhelm. But there's good news. If you're vaccinated, you have your booster shot, you're protected from severe illness and death, period.
This as the president's response to the pandemic gets its worst marks to date. A new Fox Business poll shows nearly half of America, disapproves of his performance on COVID now.
All right, here reacts South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. So it's going to be a dark winter, it looks like. Governor, what do you plan on doing to your people?
We plan on doing business as usual and celebrating Christmas. I think the president's outlook is focusing on the negatives. This country needs hope. They need to remember the promise of Christmas and the love they have for their families and friends and enjoy the season.
But the numbers are rising and he's concerned. Are you?
We're always concerned. We're doing the hard work of taking care of people, letting them use personal responsibility to make the best decisions for themselves and their families, and then focusing on how we can get through challenging times together. South Dakota has been an example to the country of how you do that with common sense and protecting freedoms, and I would encourage the president to consider taking some of the actions that we have.
For instance, what? Because to Brian's point, the numbers are rising. The number of hospitalizations in the last 2 weeks up 20%. They are expecting, Governor, in about 3 weeks, the death toll because of COVID, largely Delta, will be 15,000 per week here in the United States. So what common sense things is South Dakota doing that the president should do?
We will continue to do what we've done throughout the pandemic, and that's to inform people, give them the data, focus on the science, encourage them to consistently wash their hands like we did throughout the pandemic, to make sure that they're not feeling well, they should stay home, protect the vulnerable individuals, and choose to get a vaccine if they would like to. If they don't, then go into this knowing that they should focus on exercising, taking their vitamins, and being very healthy people.
Governor, I know that you want to introduce the girls' sports bill. Tell the folks at home what this is and why.
Well, we did file that bill this week. We go into session in January, but this bill would essentially take the executive orders that I put in place last year and codify them into state law. And what they do is protect fairness in women's sports for girls, make sure that they have the opportunity to be successful, that we only have girls playing in girls' sports. It would address it at the K-12 level, but also at the collegiate level here in our state.
It's complicated because there are now trans athletes who are competing in sports in gender, in the categories for genders that they were not born at. People who were born as boys are now trans and now competing with women.
There are very physical differences between males and females, and that is one of the issues that we're talking about, is the biological differences and making sure that we're protecting girls' sports so that girls have a level playing field, they have the opportunity to be successful, and that's something that was fought for many years ago, that we here in South Dakota will protect that right for those girls. Boys should play in boys' sports and girls should play in girls' sports.
Right. Deslea Thomas is the swimmer, is at the University of Pennsylvania, switched sexes, now a woman, competing and blowing out the competition. And it turns out a lot of the teammates, a lot of the parents of the teammates, of our own teammates are upset about this. They had their own goals. They had races they wanted to win. And here's a quote from a female swimmer speaking out against Thomas. It's hard working your whole life at a sport and going to the big competition, seeing someone who is more physically talented than you. However, it's even more discouraging to have them right next to you and knowing you won't ever be on the same physical level as them. So that is exactly what this is about, isn't it?
It is, and I think a lot of people across the country are trying to take this issue and make it into personal beliefs or to send a message on a different issue, when really what this comes down to is fairness. Fairness for girls, giving them a level playing field so that when they compete in these sports, they can be successful and they have the opportunity to go to college, get scholarships, be a professional, and make sure that they're competing against someone who is given the same gifts and the same level of physical abilities that they were.
Yeah. Governor, before you go, we'll have you weigh in on some politics. Over the last week or so, there's been some speculation about whether or not Joe Biden would run for re-election. And in fact, the New York Times on the op-ed page said, Joe, don't run, but tell people now. What do you think is going to happen on the Democrat side?
Now, I think the president and the vice president have discussed this issue. I think they disagree on the best path forward for their party. They've got a lot of division going on, and it'll be interesting to watch what they do in the future. What I know is the policies of Republicans are working. They're creating opportunities. Our economies are growing. People are successful. And Republicans and conservatives are happier because we recognize that what we believe truly does protect what makes America so special.
So you believe there's division between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
I do. You can see it between them, that they aren't communicating, they're not getting along, and I think there's a lot of division in the White House right now between those two.
Well, he says he's running again, and she says we haven't discussed it. Does that mean he possibly is looking for another candidate to be his VP?
Well, look at the Democratic Party. I mean, their leadership obviously has a poor ability to decide when to step down. They've got Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, Joe Biden. They've got young leaders that are frustrated because they've got a very different agenda for this country. It's interesting to watch what's going on in the Democratic Party because I don't believe it reflects America right now. And the American public is waking up to it. That's why parents are showing up at meetings, school boards, city councils. They're taking their country back, and I think that means that it's going to be a great midterms for Republicans.
Yeah.
Right, they feel optimistic about the House. We'll see what's going to happen in the Senate.
Remember in Loudoun County, all those parent panel? We had like 12 of them. They all said we didn't even know who our school board members were, and now we all speak out at the meetings.
Right.
To your point, a lot of frustration. Governor, thank you very much for joining us today from South Dakota.
Merry Christmas, Governor.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
bet.
Indeed. All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.